What's good, y'all? Welcome back to vlog number 2. We got another session of 1-3 at the Wynn. Let's get it. We look down at pocket fours in the first hand of note on the button. See your early position fold. +1 is going to go ahead and open up to 15. Couple calls before us. We're just going to call here on the button. No point of 3-betting with small pocket pairs. Looking to set mine here. Get a couple more calls. So we're going 5 ways to a flop in position. And it comes the best flop we can imagine. It comes 7-4-4. So we just flop quads. Let's go. Now let's see how we can get paid. Original opener is going to check. Guy on his left is going to make it 25. And we are going to stick in the call. No point to raise here because then we're going to scare off whatever hand you could possibly have here. So heads up to a turn, and it comes a 5 of hearts. So now there's some straight draws, flush draws, which I hope he has. But unfortunately, he checks it over to us, and we're not checking through. We're going to bet kind of small just to keep him in with all of his hands that he could have. And he's going to make the call. Off to river, and it comes the ace of hearts. I think it's a pretty good card if he has any ace-x hands. He has 2 pair, flush hands, anything. And he donk bets for $40. That's $40 he will never be seen again. We're going to go for the big boy raise. Go 3x's bet to 120. Praying for a call. Can't go too large here because, he doesn't really have a strong hand from how he's been played. And now we're just praying for a call. And he doesn't snap fold, so that's great. But he's thinking, and unfortunately, he's going to make the fold. So we're going to take this pot down. We're going to show the table that we just flop quads. That doesn't happen too often. In the next hand of note, we look down at a pretty good starting hand, I'd say. Ace-king of diamonds. We're going to open up here to $15. We see one call, and another call. The button's set up for a perfect squeeze, and he's a pretty good player, so I think that he knows that. And he's going to squeeze to $75. But I'm not having it. This is my pot, and you know what we finna do. We ain't folding, and we ain't calling. We're going for the 4-bet, which usually in this game is only like aces and kings. But we're going to mix in some ace-king in there. We make it 175 that I announce. I'm not string betting, I promise. And he tanks pretty quickly, and he's going to make the call. So maybe he could have like 10s, jacks, queens. Probably not kings, probably not aces. So heads up to a flop. And there's not much playability because the stack to the pot ratio is kind of small. And we flop top. We're just going to get it all in. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe we can go smaller and get paid from his queen X. But we're just going to go all in and we get a fold. Off to the next hand. After we lose a pretty big pot before this. But I did not record it, thankfully. But we got pocket 8s in the big blind. We see it open at 20. We're going to make the call. Straddle calls. And a couple of the limpers call as well. Going 4 ways to a flop. About $80 in the middle. Out of position, which comes pretty good. King 8-3, so we got middle set. Just going to check here and flow. And the original opener is going to go ahead and go all in for $32. I definitely want to raise, but I think the best course of action is just to be flat calling this bet and hoping the other players behind me call as well. And we could get some money in on the turn. So just flat called at $32. The guy on my left is going ahead and make the call, which we'd love to see. And then the next player, he goes in the tank for a while. I don't know if he's thinking about raising. Obviously, I'm hoping he raises because as played, he can't have kings. And if he doesn't have kings, that means we got the nuts. But he makes a fold. And going heads up to a turn with the player all in. It's a 5 of clubs. We gotta start building this pot somehow. It's a dry side pot. So we bet out here for 50. Obviously up for a call, but he folds. We show our 8s. And the player mucks, so we win. For this next one, we look down at another small pocket pair, pocket 7s. We're in the +1 position, so we're going to go ahead and open up to $15. And the player that we just stacked in the last hand, he's going to make the call. And the small blind's going to make the call as well. So we're going 3 ways to a flop. And it comes not that good for us. 8-9-3 rainbow. So we got 3rd pair. But we're going to see bet here anyway. See if we can get some quick folds. We bet out for $20. And same player for last time, snap call, so that's not the best thing to see. And the blind call as well. So we're kind of giving up on this hand unless we can pick up some more equity. And equity we do pick up. It's a 7 of hearts. So now we got a set here. But it's a pretty connected board. So I like to check. I think betting here is not the worst thing either. And then the same guy from last hand is going to go all in for about 105. The blind is tanking for a little bit. But he's going to let it go. He ain't got nothing. And we can't really fold. So if he has a straight, hopefully we can boat up on the river. If you got it, you got it kind of thing. We make the call. River is a king of diamonds. He doesn't look too happy. We show our pocket sevens. And we're going to win this spot again. Next hand should be a little bit more fun. Let's see what we got. Ace-6 of spades. Button is going to go ahead and make it $20. Small blind folds. I think calling here on the big blind is not the worst thing. So we're going to make the call. And the straddle's going to call as well for the price he's getting. Going 3 ways to a flop. And it comes not too bad. Comes Jack 10-3 with a couple spades. So we got the nut flush draw. We're just going to check and flow here. And the button bets $10. When he bets $10, I can tell he does not like this flop at all. He doesn't even want the pot. So I think check raising is not the worst idea. But we're just going to make the call here. And see if we can make our hand or make a move on the turn. The turn is a 9 of clubs. So we do not make our flush. And the board is way more connected, so a lot more straights to get there. But from the flop, if he had a straight draw, I think he just would have bet bigger than $10. So when we check to him now, he's going to bet $30. Like I said, from the flop, he didn't really seem like too interested in this pot like he wanted it. So I think if we do a little small check raise, he might be letting it go. Which is exactly what we do. We're settling a bet here. I don't think we have to go too large to get a fold. And if he does have a good hand and we go too big, we're just donating unless we hit our flush in the river. So we bet out $80. And he's Hollywooding for a little bit. But I don't think he has a strong hand here. He's going to let it go, and we're going to take this down with ace high. The next hand, we look down at pocket nines. Swear we just keep picking up pocket pairs. We see open at $12 in late position. We're going to call on the button. 3-betting is not the worst idea either, but we just end up making the call. Couple ways to the flop is Jack 9 deuce. Man, I swear we keep flopping sets. Cutoff is going to go ahead and c-bet for 25. And with all the draws, straight draws, flush draws, a raise is definitely in order. Not too big. We're just going to do a little 3x to $75. And the early position player is thinking for a little bit. He folds. Back onto the cutoff. He's thinking. And he's going to make the call. So we know he doesn't have a pocket jacks at least. All right, he's going to check it over to us on the 6 of hearts. So more flush draws. And our hand's kind of vulnerable lest we boat up. So we're going to go pretty big. We bet 110 into the pot. It's a big bet for the game. Not that big in relative with the pot. But he's thinking for a little bit and ends up making the call. And with all the draws present, I'm praying that everything breaks out. It's an 8 of clubs. So straight draws do get there. I don't know if he does have a straight draw. But when he checks it, I think just checking back makes sense. So I checked it back. And he has Jack 10 with the 10 of diamonds. And we're going to win. For this next hand, we look down at ace jack of clubs. I think there were some limps we opened in the small blind. Flops comes ace king 6, a couple of hearts. We're going to c-bet here for $15. And the villain's going to end up making the call. I think I have the best hand here. Ace king wouldn't make sense. Ace 6 maybe. And the turn is a 7 of clubs, so nothing really gets there. We're going to put out another bet here for value. I still go kind of small, half pot for 35. It's against an older opponent, so they're kind of tight, and they always have some crazy, especially when they're in the pot. He makes the call. The river's a 5 of clubs. I mean, he could have ace 5, but it's unlikely. I think we have the best hand here. So we assemble a bet. It's another small bet, less than half pot. We're going to put out a bet here of $60. And he's thinking for a little bit. I'm expecting a call most of the time, but this opponent does not call. He raises to 160. And I'm thinking, what could he possibly have that raises here? Like ace 5, ace 6, ace 7. I mean, it does happen. So I usually would pay it off here, but I'm tired of paying off nits in this situation. So I end up making the hero fold. Let me know what you guys think of this. I just think this is never a bluff, especially from this kind of opponent, but maybe it was.